2018 Honda Accord Sport 2.0 T manual. Here we are, 17 years after the millennium, creeping toward a driverless future discussed elsewhere in this issue. Robocars will ask very little of us, only that we sit there and wait. After a few years of this, our driving skills are likely to atrophy like leg muscles in a cast. We'll all become as helpless as Miss Daisy, reliant on a robotic Hoke to drive us around. Except maybe that's not what's going to happen, because we just hopped into the cabin of a redesigned 2018 Accord, and there's a manual gearbox with a leather-wrapped knob between the seats. That shifter shouldn't be there, not this far into the driverless century. It's almost like finding out that Cadillac offered a hand-cranked starter in 1959. Of course that didn't happen, but if the robots win and the computer-driven car dominates mobility, this family sedan with a manual will certainly confuse the fossil record. Naturally, we love it. Partially because a manual family sedan gives us hope that our enthusiasm might have a place in the future, but also because we've loved slamming Hondas into gear since the 1980s, and we'd like to continue doing so for at least a few more decades. Slick and precise, this 6-speed, available only on sport trims, provides a mechanical conduit between the car, the driver, and the 252 horsepower turbocharged 2.0-liter four-cylinder. We recently tested a 2.0T Touring with the 10-speed automatic, which is a no-cost option on the sport trim. The 2.0-liter is new and closely related to the 306 horsepower 2.0-liter in the Civic Type R. It replaces the previous generation's 278 horsepower 3.5-liter V6 as the top-spec engine. Moving up to the 2.0-liter from the base 192 horsepower turbocharged 1.5-liter will require around $2,000 to $4,500 of your hard-earned grickles, depending on trim level. The Civic Type R bloodline is deeply felt in the Accord's new engine. Equipped with Honda's i-Tech variable valve lift, the 2.0-liter delivers a rev happiness and linear thrust missing from the 1.5. It rewards you for running right up to the 6,800 RPM redline. A hint of turbo lag is unmistakable, but it's a mere split second before the rush hits. In the Type R, the engine makes no attempt to fit in with polite society. Honda has wisely buried the engine's more prurient tendencies for family sedan use. At full throttle, the engine emits only 78 decibels, compared with the Type R's 91 decibels of Vin Diesel-inspired dialogue. Pull through the first two gears, and the Accord hits 60 miles per hour in 6.1 seconds. The quarter-mile rolls by in 14.7 seconds at 98 miles per hour in fourth gear. The last V6 Accord sedan, which came only with a 6-speed automatic and weighed 310 pounds more than this wiry 3283-pound Accord, made it to 60 miles per hour in 5.8 seconds and to the quarter-mile mark in 14.4 seconds at 99 miles per hour. The turbo engine's rush of torque between 1,500 and 4,000 RPM gives the driver the impression that the new car is quicker than its measurements, but all the output will light up the front tires in first gear. Even with the front end hunting for traction, the steering doesn't tug, and the nose doesn't spastically vector you into ditches or oncoming traffic. You merely feel as if you're accelerating on a damp road before traction control steps in. The Accord is easy to manage near the limit and remains compassed, even if the steering efforts through the leather-wrapped rim are a bit light, and the electrically assisted gag ensures that its voice is largely muted. Like its predecessor, this Accord is light on its feet and stays flat in corners, and the competence goads you to go ever faster. The structure is solid, but this latest generation does not seem to have turned down the volume on road and tire noise. The Accord's 70 decibels at 70 miles per hour is only a single decibel up on the old V6 model, but it's enough to keep this sedan from being confused with a luxury car. Rear seat space is luxury car massive, however. Legroom and shoulder room are abundant, even for 6-foot-tall adults. The driver's seat padding is hard, but it starts to feel supported after a couple of days. And in typical Honda fashion, there's space for all the accessories of 21st century life. There's more modern technology perched atop the dashboard, where Honda has wisely upgraded the Accord's infotainment system. Gone is the previous car's slow-acting unit whose displays had all the charm of a computer running Windows 95. The rest of the interior holds few surprises. Climate controls are simple, just 3 knobs with a few logically marked buttons. A convincing digital facsimile of an analog tachometer is set to the left of an actual analog speedometer. The Accord's outward appearance may conform to class norms, but Honda isn't a follower. Offering a manual transmission in the Accord is a protest of sorts, a secret handshake from Honda that lets us know that you shouldn't have to give up driving just because you're buying a family sedan. The manual transmission's therapy is as much mental as it is physical.